Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live at 5. Today is Thursday, December 7th. My name is Matt Roden.
And my name is Ryan Lee Gilbert.
Today's a good day,
Today's
Ryan.
a good day. Today's a very good day.
Today's a very,
we
very
have
good day.
an excellent guest. You guys are going to freak out.
Yes, Jason Mraz is here.
He is.
Very, very exciting.
That's right. Very exciting.
But first, news upon news upon news.
We
Ryan,
do.
what's up?
We have some news. Aladdin. Ariel Jacobs, who is Adam Jacobs' sister, and
The original
star of Aladdin.
Yeah.
She played the role of Princess Jasmine in the Australian production of Aladdin. She's heading over to Broadway. She's coming over to play the role. She will begin in the show on February 20th, 2018. Courtney Reed, who is our current Princess Jasmine, the wonderful Courtney Reed, she will play her last performance on January 10th. And then Reed will reunite with Adam Jacobs, who is on the tour for Aladdin. She's going to head to LA. They're going to do the show for like 5 weeks together. And then Isabel McCalla.
Oh my God, Izzy McCalla!
Izzy McCalla, who is currently playing Jasmine in the tour, will play that little break in between Courtney and before Ariel starts, January 17th through February 18th. So there's just 3 Jasmines just juggling.
Very exciting.
All of the different times playing Jasmine.
I'm into that.
Very excited.
Remind me how to pronounce this last name.
Michael Luwaye.
Michael Luwaye, who is currently playing Hamilton in, he's on like the West Coast tour. He was in San Francisco, and now they're in LA.
Yep.
He is going to be coming to Broadway, which he already did it on Broadway
he was
before.
The understudy, yes. I believe.
Right, so he's coming back to Broadway, and Javier Munoz, who's playing Hamilton on Broadway, is going to the show's touring cast.
Yes, I believe so. For a little bit,
like,
they're doing
like
a little switcheroos,
trading,
little back and forth,
trading spaces.
But no specific dates.
No dates yet.
One yet. No, we don't know yet.
They just said it's happening sometime.
Just prepare yourselves
soon. And aren't they in previews in London too?
In London, I believe they. Yeah, for a little. They're about to open very soon. So much Hamilton. A Grateful Dead musical by the name of Red Roses, Green Gold. You may have heard of it. It is playing at the Minetta Lane Theater off Broadway. It has been extended again for the 2nd time. The first time they were extended to January 7th, 2018, and now you have until March 18th to see that fantastic musical. Listen to the, did you know the story of this musical? I love it how it's described. Jackson Jones and his family of swindlers as they gamble their way to love and riches in 1920s Cumberland, USA. The songs are mainly composed by Robert Hunter and the late and great Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead.
And everybody in the show is like, they're like actor musicians.
Absolutely. Like we had them in here, and like, I don't know if we had them in here, but we did a segment for them. They sound amazing.
Yeah, they all play like 4 instruments.
Yes, super talented.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cool things on the site that you can be checking out right now. Andrew Lloyd Webber's School of Rock, the musical on Broadway, celebrated its 2nd year on the Great White Way.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We have great photos of the new Deweys, the new Rosalie Mullins, lots of kids.
We just didn't ever have ever with them, so I think that's coming out, what is that, in like next week or something like that? Yeah. It's very good.
Lots of heads nodding.
Yeah.
A new character study, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
John Rubinstein.
Yeah.
Very insightful. He was the original Pippin. I don't know if people know this. He was the original Pippin on Broadway. Yeah. And now he's playing Grandpa Joe.
He's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And so sweet and smart, and it's a great little segment.
And a brand new side-by-side with the wonderful Susan Blackwell. And she's talking to
Matt Doyle. But the thing I wanted to say was it was like one of my favorites ever that we've done. He does this amazing Norbert Leo Butz impression, and then like 15 minutes later, Susan made him prank call Norbert Leo Butz as Norbert Leo Butz. Oh my gosh. And that's in the video.
That's
and
amazing.
It's just,
and his
great.
puppies.
And his puppies
are in the video as well.
Yes.
So that is all
That's
I have.
It?
As much as I'm sure you all want me to stick around, I think my time is just about done here.
You're done.
Yes.
So what you're going to see right now is a video that just came out this morning. I think it came out this morning of Jason and Sarah in a park on a very cold day. It appears a very cold day. Singing "It Only Takes a Taste," and it's great. And then we'll be right back with Jason Mraz.
Remind me of a girl I once knew. God, by now she's well in middle age. She's probably 41 or 42.
Thank you.
Oh God, no. What I meant was that she was a waitress at a shop I used to frequent quite a lot. Nice teeth and small hands and snuck me goodies I couldn't afford then. She was sweet to me. Reminds me of you.
Nobody ever really notices me that way.
She'd bake the pies fresh every day, like you, I guess. But I must say, if pies were books, yours would be Shakespeare's letters. You remind me of her, but better. It only takes a taste when it's something special. It only takes a taste when you know it's good. Sometimes one bite is more than enough to know you want more of the thing you just got a taste of.
That reminds me of a thing we would say, me and my mama in the kitchen when we'd bake. She'd say, Jenna, you could tell a whole story with a taste.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I swear that as those flavors mixed and melted, I could hear the siren sing. It was truly something special, one taste, and I want the whole thing. I must say, it felt like I was carried away, intoxicated, made me escape the room I was in. I can't help but wonder how your hands must have felt, creating such a masterful thing.
Just one bite, cause all that wondering.
It only takes a taste. It only takes a taste when you know it's good. Sometimes one bite is more than enough to know you want more of the thing you just got a taste of.
Welcome back, everybody. So I first encountered this human being in 2008 at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago.
Cool.
And that night, it was the first time I'd ever been introduced to the idea and the concept of gratitude. Oh. And it totally shifted the course of my life.
Wonderful.
And the music and the mantras have sort of become part of like the bedrock of my human experience.
Great.
I went to school in Boston. And when I was there, the marathon bombing happened, and I gathered in a studio 2 days after the marathon and with friends, and we sang your music, and it healed us, and we put it on the internet and was able to heal other people. And now you're here in New York City, starring 8 times a week in Waitress the musical, eating pie, spreading joy.
That's right.
I'm really happy that you're here. Say hi.
Hi.
Jason Mraz, everybody.
Wow, thanks for that intro.
Of course.
That was nice.
All true.
It was very touching. I got chills.
All true. Me too.
Yeah, thanks.
How's it going over at the Brooks?
Oh, it's a dream.
Are you having fun?
I'm having fun.
Okay.
It's a great show. Great songs.
Yes.
Amazing cast.
Yes.
I am so blessed to have been invited to be a part of it.
And you're great in it.
Well, thanks.
I was there. I was there on opening night.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
I wasn't gonna miss it.
Great.
But I want to give people context because you grew up doing theater, right? Like you were a musical theater kid growing up.
Yeah. So we had arts available in our public school, which is great.
Yep.
Thank goodness. Keep arts going in your public school.
Yeah.
And so I chose it as an elective every time I could. Drama, communications, chorus. I was doing after-school programs. I was doing summer programs because singing was my greatest joy. Entertaining people was my greatest joy.
I feel.
And out of high school, I thought, well, I'm not going to get a real job. I mean, singing is my greatest joy.
Yeah.
I want to do my greatest joy. Yeah. So I actually came up to New York because some other high school friends went to AMDA here on the Upper West Side.
Yep.
American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Yeah.
I enrolled.
Did you know that? Were you like, I'm going to go to school for musical theater? Like, that's what I want to do.
Well, I didn't get accepted to any other schools.
Did you apply to like a lot of schools for musical theater?
I applied to other schools.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I just applied to other
schools.
Like academic
okay,
schools.
Okay.
And I didn't have the academics. But AMDA accepted me. So I said, you know what? I'm moving to New York City.
Okay.
Screw this little small town.
Had you been there? Had you been in New York before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had come on school field trips to see Broadway. I spent my senior spring break here. While other people were going to the beach, I was coming to New York City.
Okay.
Rollerblading around town. Going in to see shows after intermission, so you can kind of like
that. Oh yeah,
drift into the theater. You know.
Yeah. What was your favorite like halfway show? Do you remember any? That you saw the second act of? That you second acted?
I was more paranoid that I was in the theater than I could comfortably feel.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to AMDA.
Yes.
And you were here.
Yes. So I did 2 semesters at AMDA, and while I was here, I started playing guitar.
Right.
And I got so much instant gratification playing the guitar and making up songs.
And being able to like just accompany yourself and do your own thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That I stopped going to class. Because I didn't want to go to class. That's taking too long.
Yeah, right.
I want to be with my guitar.
Yeah.
And my roommate at the time, he said, you know what? You should just be a rock star.
Billy?
He really said those words. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So I moved away from New York because I was working full time here, and I thought auditioning or trying to develop a career here would be very, very challenging, very competitive.
You are correct, yes.
So I moved away to work on my craft. I said, I'll come back to New York when I'm ready. But I got sidetracked and ended up in California. And years later, I saw my roommate, and he said, I can't believe you did it. I can't believe you actually went and became a rock star.
And you did.
Well, you know, I stick to things that, you know, I put my mind to.
When you left school, when you were leaving school, were you like sure of that decision? Were people around you like, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
Yeah. I was very sure of it, and I was so naive that I thought I could I thought I could do it.
You were like, I can do it.
I was like, yeah, I'm so. I don't want to say cocky, but I think I was.
No, it's like a self-awareness. Like, yeah, I understand.
I was like, no, I believe in this magic trick that I can do, because anytime I do it somewhere, people are charmed.
Yep.
It's like, I think there's something to this, and if I work on it, I can really grow it into something.
And you did.
And I did. And thank you for saying what you said in the intro, because over the years, as I grew to understand my magic trick, so Bruce Springsteen calls it in his Bruce Springsteen on Broadway.
Calls it a magic trick?
He calls it a magic trick, which I can totally relate to. Over the years, I discovered that Jason means healer from Hebrew.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, this is great.
That's pretty incredible.
Pretty cool. So I began to see what could happen when a mantra or a positive message is infused with a melody. I began to see how it could not only change audiences, but it was transforming my DNA and who I was as a person and who I was as a person of service. So as it went on, that really became my mission with my magic trick, was to try to look inside of myself and see, where am I still broken? Where's there still a void? Where is there a relationship in this world that I need to heal? Because as long as I know somebody that we're not getting along, there's never going to be world peace. You know?
Yes, amen.
If I know that 2 family members don't get along, there's not going to be world peace, right? So how can I help bridge that healing? And if I can do it in my own life and in my own family, then maybe it'll work on stage or in somebody's headphones.
Yeah.
And that became sort of how that's how I've continued to do it since then.
That's what I was going to ask you. So you pretty much answered the question, but I'm curious because, you know, all the things that you talk about and the messages that you send out in your music, they're like super specific, and I feel like they're aligned with who you are. And I'm wondering, how did you sort of, I mean, you kind of just said it, but how did you find those things? Where did those discoveries start happening? How do you sort of find clarity about the things that you do care about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we're never finite.
No.
We're always growing, and so with every age comes some sort of new obstacle or challenge. Yeah. That songwriting was my tool for understanding. The page is blank, and as I write these lessons that I'm learning or these mistakes that I'm making, I'm able to reflect my life. It's like journaling. Anybody can do the same exact thing with journaling. They can see their life unfold on the page and hopefully solve their problems, or at least become more aware of their problems. So I've always used songwriting as a way to sort of disappear or escape, but also throw myself into the divine.
It's like meditating.
It's like meditating. And I think if you're doing anything passionately, whether it's, you know, you're acting, you can totally lose yourself to the character or to the moment. Or if you're running a marathon, you can totally lose yourself.
It's like flow state.
Yes, flow state, exactly. So I've always used songwriting as flow state. And when I do this often, it could be a topic that's comedic, it could be a topic that's sexy, it could be a topic that's egoic, and occasionally it's a topic that's important.
Yes.
It's meaningful, and it's healing something in me that's broken or that's needed light shined on it. And that's the good stuff, the juicy stuff that I hope makes it onto the albums.
Right.
And eventually is what gets heard by, you know, listeners.
How many songs, because you've obviously written a lot and put out a lot of music, how many songs, like what's the percentage of music that makes it to people's ears versus the music that never gets heard?
10%.
10%.
Yeah.
What is the determining, like what's the determining? How do you decide what goes, at what point do you say, okay, this is ready to share and this is, I'm going to keep this for myself?
Well, the first determining point is the stage. Can I take it to the stage?
Because that's the live performance thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if I can recreate this magic every time I play it, bonus.
Yep.
And then the second part is really the business of music. You know, there are committees.
Of course.
That, you know, are buying and selling this music, and that can sometimes be the frustrating part, because you've got a wealth of material in a catalog, but if it's not competitive at the moment, then it's hard to get it through the door.
But you play stuff in live shows all the time that isn't released.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that is
live is where I have full creative control to sing anything I wish.
And I think there's a big difference between. I mean, there obviously is a big difference between live performance and recorded music. I mean, it's like someone can be a recording artist and someone can be a live performer.
Absolutely.
And they're two totally different things.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about, so you write a song, eventually at some point you need to share it with people. Can you talk about the process of like putting your stuff out there and putting yourself out there and the role that fear plays in all of that stuff?
Well, I think more and more people can relate nowadays because we all have broadcast channels to our social media.
Yes,
it's
we
the
do.
exact same thing. We're all human, and as soon as you put a picture of yourself out there, or a poem, or even somebody else's poem that you like, you are then subject to someone else's judgment or ridicule or criticism, and it's never easy. What's important is that you like it. You know, I was on a show this morning, and I was playing the guitar, and I missed a chord. Oh, and I beat myself up for 10, 15 minutes.
Really?
And that to me is harder than reading some comment of someone who's saying, you suck at guitar.
It's like on you.
It's the inner stuff that I deal with. But the process of releasing it is fun. It's exciting. I want people to see and hear my art when I make it. Yeah.
And it's good.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. See, I had all these things that I was going to ask you, but you already answered all of them.
Oh, really? Did I just... Okay.
But it's good. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's like a therapy session.
For me too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm trying to see. I mean, lots of fans from all over the world, which is exciting.
Hi, fans from all over the world.
Hi, fans from all over the world.
Wow.
96 comments. I don't even think I can scroll through these on here. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can pull them up on my phone. Because there were some good questions that people were sending earlier today when we tweeted this out. Any other wisdom you want to drop on people? Actually, you know what? I think we should, in the meantime, while I'm looking this up, you have Waiting for My Rockets coming back out on vinyl.
Sure.
Really exciting.
Yeah, it is out on vinyl.
You're going on the road in March.
Going on the road in March, and we haven't announced it yet, but I'll be on the road in the summertime as well, and in the fall.
It's really exciting.
It's a big world, and I'll be on tour all 2019. There's a big world to cover, so... if you only see tour dates in the southeast of the U.S. right now, it's because that's all we put out. But we'll eventually get to you.
Full band or just you?
A little of both.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll be out on the road by myself, and sometimes I'll be out with the super band, including the fabulous musicians in Raining Jane.
So good.
They're good.
So good.
Ooh, they're good.
Jen wants to know.
Okay, Jen.
How do you rationalize the choices your character and Waitress makes?
Oh.
We always try to find the good in characters we play, even if we don't agree with them.
Right.
What do you think happens to him after we leave the world of Waitress?
Oh, you know, I was optimistic. I thought, well, I think he's learned and was awakened by Jenna Hunterson, and I think he's going to go and patch things up with
his wife.
Yes, Francine Pomatter. And it's amazing how just about everyone else in the cast and in the production team are like, oh no, they get a divorce. So really?
You're like, oh, can't there be like can't it be positive?
Am
can
I
it
the
be
only
good?
optimistic gynecologist in the building? I've learned my lesson. I tasted the pie, and I want to go home and make a better pie with my wife.
I like that. I like that outlook on it.
Yeah.
Sylvia wants to know, how's married life?
Married life is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I think when you're in a relationship with anyone exclusively for a very long time,
yes,
it can be challenging.
Yes.
But what's exciting is that every year, almost every day, is something new. It's like,
it's a learning process.
Yeah, we've been together 6 years now, and it's like, wow, now we've been together 6 years in a day. Now we've been together 6 years in 2 days. So if something comes up that we've never faced, no one's to blame.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, we've never done this before. So we get to grow together and help each other out. And she's really the best reflection of me, meaning I get to be my best self when I'm with her. That's why we married.
I think those are the best kind of relationships.
Totally.
Friendships, any kind of relationship, right? Like that you can be your full, truest, most honest self.
Full, truest, gassy.
Yep, I was going to say most disgusting self.
Disgusting self.
Carol wants to know, you've spoken about being a healer. Jason means healer in Hebrew. Are there any healers in your life?
Cats.
You love cats.
I love cats.
What is it about?
And little dogs.
Love dogs.
I love the fur friends.
Fur friends.
Fur friends.
I mean, there's a lot of causes that you have gotten behind. You have your own foundation.
Yeah, a lot of causes.
Life Rolls On and Al Gore. I mean, there's so many things that you've gotten behind.
Yeah.
I think because the world is kind of so connected now and we all have access to so much information and we can see, there's no really other way to put it, like so much suffering, it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I think people sometimes shut down because they go, there's too many things. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how you picked, or not picked, but how you decide sort of which causes you're like really passionate about.
Sure.
And what, if there are actionable steps that people can take that you can share.
Well, I think nobody donates to a cause, they donate to people. So behind every great cause is our champions, our leaders who are on the ground doing phenomenal work, phenomenal research, phenomenal healing. Yep. And so when I've met those people and seen their work, I donate to those causes, or I align myself with them and help shine a light on their cause.
You went to Standing Rock too?
Yeah, I had to, because all we were seeing was violence on the news. Like there's rioting. So I knew that was not the case. I knew this was a peaceful protest. So I went there to see that it was a prayer camp. Everyone who was protesting there was praying, and it was so beautiful. And basically they were educating all of us that 500 years ago settlers came and took this land, and the fight continues. This is a 500-year battle. So that's a completely different story. But that was a very, very real awakening that to align myself with that.
Yeah. But when it comes to, aligning yourself with causes and then taking actionable steps, where do you start? You know what I mean?
I would say...
Where do you start?
Where do I start?
I mean, you said the humans, it was the people, but...
So here's a good example. Because I met so many humans over the last 15 years, I was starting to spread myself very thin. Writing checks here, going here. And I thought, okay, I'm helping, but am I making a big difference? Yeah. So we are currently refocusing my own foundation to focus specifically on arts education and the advancement of equality. And I do that because it helps me because that's where I came from. Right. And I think that's a great place to start, is look at your childhood or your community and say, what could have made your life better? Or what could make these inequalities better or stronger, or how can we bridge these gaps or differences in our community? So I say start there. If something rubs you the wrong way and you're passionate about how that makes you feel, that's a pretty good place to start. So about 6 years ago, the School of Performing Arts in the Richmond community, where I went, also known as Spark.
I was going to say Spark, right?
Spark, yeah.
Okay.
We started a program there called Live Art, which is an all-inclusive arts program. So it's kids who are typically abled and kids of all abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 200 kids, and we're thrown in, and the art mediums are super mashed up, so you might be painting with your feet and dancing blindfolded, and it's chaotic and beautiful. And it's a 10-month-long school curriculum, and at the end of the year...
Is it an after-school program, or is it...
It is. It's
okay.
an after-school program, and then in June we have this massive theatrical event where the kids create this 2-act massive theatrical production with a narrative, and we bring in veteran artists to jazz it up, and it's extraordinary. But it's really one of the only inclusive arts programs that we've been able to find, because it teaches acceptance, compassion, and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if your partner is someone who's deaf, then you're going to learn sign language and get on their level.
Yeah.
You know, if your partner is someone who's autistic, you're going to learn a completely different kind of patience.
You're forced to
and
walk in their
acceptance.
shoes. You're forced to understand their world perspective.
So students, parents, teachers, the whole community, when they see it, completely transformed by it. So that's kind of been our most recent effort that we're really trying to replicate around the world.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you're doing that.
It's going to be fun.
I want to know, you know, musicals are such a specific thing. Theater is such a specific medium.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about theater that is so magical? Because it's something that you've done forever, and it's something that you've cared about forever and been, you know, felt in love with. What is it about the medium of theater? Because it's different than doing a concert. It's different than doing a live performance.
Yeah.
What is it about theater?
It's kind of like watching the ocean waves. You can't stop them. But when that wave comes, and so if you're in theater, when that curtain comes up, the wave has started, and you really can't stop it.
Yeah.
The momentum carries you through, and anything could happen. I mean, it could take you down. It could take your breath away.
Mm-hmm.
It can evoke emotion, round of applause, laughter. It's an ensemble piece, typically.
Yeah.
Of all of these human spirits agreeing on something.
Mm-hmm. A circumstance.
Circumstance, losing themselves in it, and getting carried away with these waves of sound.
And the audience too, right?
Absolutely. Without the audience, it wouldn't happen.
Right.
And plus, what we feel in the musical Waitress, we feel when that audience laughs and applauds at certain moments, we know they're with us.
Yeah.
Unlike those Wednesday matinee audiences. Wednesday matinee. If
little sleepy, a little tired.
If you come to the Wednesday matinee, clap a little extra louder for those sitting around you.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's a live. It's a living thing.
Yes.
Theater is a living thing. It's not a movie. You're not there to be quiet through it. You're there to breathe and participate with us.
And I think a lot of people now, especially in the world that we live in, are craving collective experiences like that. We're able to go and sit in a dark room and share in this like one singular moment. Like you said, anything can happen. It only happens once. I think of it kind of like a concert too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where everybody comes in the same room, and that thing is only going to happen that one time.
Right.
I think there's something like really magical about that.
There is. And what I've noticed is that even though we're following a script, it's different every day.
Is it different every day?
It is, because these actors bring their truth to the characters. And if there's a subtle dip in energy, they have a different truth in the way they deliver the lines. And as we're volleying these truths back and forth, the contexts change.
Of course.
I mean, there's a million ways I could enter the pantry and have this conversation with Jenna. And when the director tells me to go darker and darker with it, and then she feels that darkness, then it feels different every time.
That's a gift.
Because actors have thoughts on stage, and there's no perfect thought.
Yes.
But you just allow the thought to, whatever the thought is of the day will determine how that line is spoken, and so it makes the show different every time.
You've been in the show now for how many weeks? Like 4 weeks? 5 weeks?
It'll be 5 weeks tomorrow.
What have you learned about yourself, about, I don't know, what have you learned?
I think I've learned what I just said about the truth.
Yes.
Actors bring their truth to the stage, and they're always solving problems for the audience to help tell this narrative.
Yeah.
And I think prior to joining this show, or even prior to acting, because this is my first time acting in my adult life, I would have assumed it was playing pretend. But there's not pretend happening.
It's all true. It's all true.
Truth.
Yeah.
You're given a line, but you're not pretending to read the line. What makes it powerful is when you put your truth into the line, so that information can be sung or rapped or spoken in today's musicals.
Yeah. Are you excited to do it with Sarah?
Oh my gosh. And that's the other thing too. I've done it with 2 different Jenna Huntersons now.
Oh, because of
Stephanie Torrens and Betsy Wolfe, and both of them have a completely different Jenna Hunterson.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know that Sarah's going to have a completely different Jenna Hunterson. So that excites me.
Yeah.
Because then it makes it brand new again.
I'm so happy that you're here. Have you been having fun in New York? Are you enjoying being back here?
In New York, of course.
Yeah.
I left here on my 19th birthday, and I felt like a little bit like a loser because I moved here to do this.
Yeah.
But I said no. I'm moving away for a bigger purpose. I'm moving out of here so that I can get my act together, and one day New York will call me back and I will work here.
Did you know that? You knew that? Like, you had faith that you were like, it'll bring me back.
It'll bring me back. I said I might be in my 40s or my 50s when I have some life experience.
Sure enough.
I got the phone call about a month after my 40th birthday.
It's the universe. Just
New York called me back and said, hey, we want you. So it flew by. 21 years flew by. So enjoy it. You only get so many breaths on this planet, so catch as many as you can.
I mean, come on. What more could you possibly ask for? I'm so grateful that you came through.
My pleasure.
I really, really,
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys who've been watching. I'm sorry we couldn't get your questions. We were just having a time.
Chatting away.
Yeah, the way we do. If you haven't, now is a really good time to go see Waitress. Because he's in it. Sarah's going in. You can get Waiting for Moroccan on vinyl.
Yep.
Pre-sale for the March shows starts next week, right? Or it already started?
I don't know.
Did it already start?
Maybe so.
Already started.
Check the internet.
The internets. They'll tell you all those things.
Yep.
And
I have a song coming out in a movie this Christmas called Father Figures. And you can expect new music in 2018.
And some of that stuff that's on the YouTube's ready is so good.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. And you were playing some of it in the weight room before we got in here.
I was playing your piano in there.
Yeah.
It was really
It's
nice.
a lot.
I like it like that.
I get that. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.